Hello everyone, Jonathan Schlack, EAS&Weather here, with the severe weather update for the Day 1 Outlook. We have multiple risk areas for severe weather today. I'm going to start you off down here, where we have a slight risk for severe weather today that covers far southern Georgia and western and northern Florida. That's where we have a slight risk for severe weather today. And we have a marginal risk for severe weather today that covers southeastern Georgia, parts of far northwestern and southeastern Florida, as well as the Florida Keys, and there's an association with Tropical Cyclone Debbie, which will be making landfall later tonight. So, going to the northeast now, we have a marginal risk for severe weather today that covers the eastern half of New York State, which includes New York City and Long Island, northeastern Pennsylvania, the northern half of New Jersey, all of Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, pretty much most of Massachusetts, all of Vermont, all of New Hampshire, most of Maine. We have a marginal today back here that covers eastern South Dakota, northern Iowa, southern half of Minnesota, southwestern Wisconsin, and the very far extreme northwestern tip of Illinois. Going over here, we also have a marginal today that covers southeastern Montana, north central Wyoming, far northwestern South Dakota, and far southwestern North Dakota. So, going to the tornado threat for today, we have a 5% chance of an isolated tornado today that covers far southeastern Georgia and northern and western Florida. We have a 2% chance of an isolated tornado today that covers southeastern Florida, the Florida Keys, far northwestern Florida, and southeastern Georgia, for that 2% chance of an isolated tornado today. And again, that is in association with Tropical Cyclone Debbie. So, going to the wind threat now, there are 4 areas where we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today. One that covers southeastern Georgia and most of Florida. And again, associated with Tropical Cyclone Debbie. Going to the northeast, we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today that covers the eastern half of New York State, which includes New York City and Long Island, northeastern Pennsylvania, the northern half of New Jersey, all of Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, most of Massachusetts, all of Vermont, all of New Hampshire, and most of Maine. Another area where we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today covers east central South Dakota, southern half of Minnesota, northern half of Iowa, the far northwestern corner of Illinois, and southwestern Wisconsin. And we have another area where we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today that covers southeastern Montana, north central Wyoming, the far northwestern corner of South Dakota, and the far southwestern corner of North Dakota. So, going to the hail threat now, we have 3 areas where we have a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today. One that covers east central and northeastern New York State, the far northeastern corner of Pennsylvania, far western Massachusetts, most of Vermont, well actually all of Vermont pretty much, central northern New Hampshire, and central Maine. Another area where we have a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today covers, don't mind just update on me, but the 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today also covers east central South Dakota, southern half of Minnesota, northern half of northern half of Iowa, the far northwestern corner of Illinois, and southwestern Wisconsin. And another area where we have a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today covers southeastern Montana, far northeastern Wyoming, far northwestern South Dakota, and far southwestern North Dakota. So, going to the summary for today, Tropical Storm Debbie may produce a few tornadoes over parts of Florida and extreme southern Georgia through early tomorrow morning as it intensifies. So, that's the day one outlook. So, I'm going to have a separate video on the day 2 outlook, which will come out very soon. So, stay tuned for the day 2 outlook, which will come out very soon.